Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Sterling, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Tricks. When I was growing up, I was an only child, and so I often found the best entertainment was in my own imagination. And so today's magic trick is going to be dedicated exactly to that. I brought something very special to share with you. It's not the bag, it's actually inside of the bag. And here I have an invisible ball. I know, I don't really have a real ball. Our budget is still in the works here at Tuesday Tricks, but I want you to make sure that you can see that ball nice and close. It can bounce, it can fly, it's pretty amazing, but first of all, I just want you to make sure that bag is empty. Take a look inside and make sure the bag is totally empty. They can examine the bag if they want to. Perfect, so I'm gonna take the ball like this, and all I'm gonna do is give it a toss. And up, and it lands right inside of the bag, right where I was aiming for. We'll toss it up, catch it in this hand, toss it up, and there it is again. I love it. Here, I'm gonna toss you the ball. Hold out your hand like you're going to catch it. I'm gonna toss it right through the screen. Oh, very nice, you caught it. So make sure you grab that ball and just very gently just toss it right over here to the bag. 1, 2, 3. Ah, thank you so much, I got it right here. And now for the last one, warm up a little bit and oh. That went really high, I'm sorry. Oh, here it is right over here, and thank you so much. Of course, though, the best thing about imagination is turning imagination into reality. Thank you so much. Ready to learn? To perform this mystery, you will need 2 objects. The first is a brown paper bag. Very important that the bag is made of paper. And that the bag is not see-through in any way, or it can be any color paper bag. I use a brown paper bag like this because it's kind of like what I used to use for sack lunches at school. And then you need a ball, and the ball needs to be small enough that you can fit it in your hand where it's hidden. And the ball starts in your back pocket, and the bag is just a normal bag. It can be folded up, and I like to fold it up flat so that the audience sees that it's completely empty because it's totally flat, and you just put it under your arm like this and you're ready to start your trick. So paper bag and a ball, get those objects, and I'll see you soon. I really hope you're keeping well back home or wherever you may be watching from. I taught this trick at the Be The One fundraiser in Linden. That's why I'm wearing my Be The One shirt today. And so I thought this would be a great refresher for anyone who wants to learn it again or someone new who wants to learn it for the first time. We're going to break this routine into 2 segments. First of all is the paper bag portion, and then the second part is the finale where you appear the ball inside the bag. So to start, I always show the bag empty. That's very important. And I use a story about my own imagination because you want the audience to believe something with you. And it's something that isn't possible, but it's fun that they play along with it. So I always talk about the invisible ball. So I show the bag empty, making sure they can examine the bag, they can look inside the bag, they can reach inside the bag. Bag's totally empty, and then I make like a snap, and I make a magic gesture, and maybe that's when everyone's expecting something really exciting, but actually it's just an invisible ball. And you always act really excited about it, but the audience is like, okay, well, it's invisible, it's not real, he didn't really do magic. But that's when you get them. So you toss the ball around like this, and then when you toss the ball for the first time and you catch it inside the bag, it sounds and it looks like the ball is landing inside the bag. But this is what's happening. Your hands, when they are inside of the bag, your thumb is at the back of the bag facing towards you, and your fingers are on the inside. Now what you do is when your fingers are holding the bag like this, you make a snapping motion with your fingers. So a snapping motion is with your fingers and your thumb move like this, okay? So you put your thumb and middle finger together, or first finger or ring finger, whichever finger you use to snap, and you don't even have to know how to snap, but it just makes the sound when you're doing this that something is landing inside of the bag. So you can see that. You want to make sure your thumb doesn't go up like this when you do the snap, because then they see your fingers are moving. Make sure your thumb stays behind the bag at all times when you finish the snap. So you take the ball, the invisible ball, toss it up, and it lands inside of the bag, and the audience always goes, what? And then you reach inside, pull out the invisible ball one more time, and you can show the bag empty like this. For the second one, I like to toss the ball like up in the air and it bounces, so that you have this really funny moment where you toss it and it's like bouncing up really fast, and you hold your hand out and you do the snapping motion again to catch the ball. You take the object and you can give it to someone, which is really funny. So you can toss the ball and then they can catch it, pretend to catch it, and then toss it back to you. And when they toss it back to you, you can catch the ball in the bag one more time. You can even do some really funny jokes in there. So for example, you can toss the ball and then catch it, and then you say like, do you have it? And then they say yes, and then you say, oh no, but I didn't throw it yet, I actually held it in my hand. Here, I'll give it to you for real this time. Little jokes like that to make it even more believable and funny. So they toss the ball, you catch it in the bag. And now for the final part of the routine is when you make the ball appear. Now remember, you have that real ball inside of your back pocket. So you want to make sure you don't show the audience your back too much, so they might see that back there. So this is what happens to appear the ball. You take the ball and you do one really high toss. And even though there's a ceiling, it's really funny because it's just not coming down yet. So you do a really high toss and then you're waiting, and it's kind of, oh, you relax a little bit, like, oh man, this is taking forever. You can check your imaginary watch like this, and then once, okay, here it comes, and once it starts coming down, your right hand goes across your body to the side that the ball is on, and this blocks the view for your left hand to go behind inside of your pocket and grab that ball out of your pocket like this. So from the side view, this is the side the audience doesn't see. When you toss the ball up, you're here and you're pointing, you point, and then you reach over this way. And once you reach, that blocks the movement for this hand to take that ball out of the pocket. You snap and you look inside like this. Now this hand that has the ball, it can be to your side like that. It can be on your hip like this. You want to make sure that ball isn't visible. And this is something called palming. So what you do is you take the ball in your hand like this and you put your thumb on top of it. That's it. And now the ball defies the laws of gravity, and you can hold it on your hip, you can hold it at your side, and that ball is invisible, okay? Just make sure the audience doesn't see it like through your fingers or anything like that, okay? So you have the ball at your side, you catch it, and then you say, but the best thing about imagination is that it's the first step to making our dreams reality. So what you do is you reach inside with the ball behind your hand, and then you pull it out just like this, and you show the ball to the audience that it's actually appeared. What you can do too is, if you want to have the audience be a part of it, and I didn't do this because I didn't have someone here with me today, you can take the ball, put it inside, but don't take it out yet. And then say, here, toss it one more time, and then you give them the ball to toss. And then once they toss it one last time, you snap and you say, oh, but you have a very good imagination. Look, reach inside, and then they reach inside. They find the ball for themselves, and then that's a very magical moment. Yeah, I think that about sums it up. One of the most important things about this routine is the belief aspect. You have to believe it yourself for the audience to have a good time, okay? So it's like acting. A magician is a very good actor. So you have to make sure that when you have the ball, you can feel the weight, like you really believe that there's a ball there. So you can toss it up, toss it, and then you're looking at it through the air, right? So when you toss it, you're tracking it with your eyes. There it is, I caught it right there. So it's all about acting and believing it yourself, because the more that you believe something, the audience will believe it too. Toss it, track it with your eyes, maybe stumble a little bit, make it seem very believable. And then at the very end, the audience will believe you even more, because when they reach in, they pull out the ball, or you pull out the ball. That's your real magical moment right there. I think that about sums it up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tuesday Tricks, and I hope that you're doing well if you're at home or wherever you may be. As always, my name is Sterling, and thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Feel free to practice, rehearse as much as you can, and I'll see you next week.